Mukhtar Ansari, the notorious mafia don, once reigned supreme over UP's Purvanchal for over 3 decades, gaining clout by committing heinous crimes from murder, illegal coal mining to forcefully cornering government contracts. And as all these mafias do to save themselves, he too turned to politics in 1995, going on to become a 5-time MLA. But now, after the 60-year-old's sudden death in jail, which his elder brother Afzal had predicted, perhaps sensing that like Atiq Ahmed was shot while in police custody in April 2023, his brother too would be eliminated. Afzal, the 70-year-old eternal opportunist, is now trying to secure his dead brother's vote bank through conspiracy theories.
मेरे भाई मुख्तार को जहर देकर मार दिया गया, इसमें सरकार का हाथ है.
Because it was actually Afzal who stayed in the shadows but was the real political brain, planning poll campaigns and fighting legal battles, himself becoming a 5-time MLA and 2-time MP, more successful than his brother Mukhtar, who never made MP. But the secret to Afzal's success was knowing the right time to jump political ships ahead of elections, perhaps inheriting the political acumen from his grandfather, who was president in both Muslim League and Congress pre-independence, or from his Communist Party leader father, but whose principles he broke away from by becoming part of Mukhtar's coal mining mafia, hatching a heinous plan with his brother to kidnap and brutally murder the biggest coal trader back in 1997, and orchestrating BJP MLAs Krishan Anand Rai's revenge killing with their henchmen spraying Rai and his associates with 500 rounds of bullets. The daring dons remained scot-free for both these open acts of violence as fearful complainants and eyewitnesses turned hostile. It was only after the Yogi government gave them witness protection in 2023 specifically for these two cases that they gave evidence for a court to find them guilty, with Mukhtar getting 10 years in jail for his direct involvement and Afzal 4 years as an accomplice. Stripped of his MP seat for a minimum 6 years under the Act, yet greedy to hold on to political power, he applied for bail, which surprisingly was generously granted by the Allahabad High Court in July 2023, which the Supreme Court not only upheld, but also temporarily restored his membership as MP and allowed him to contest on the grounds that
it will cause irreparable damage to the convict and his constituency if he is acquitted later.
Now riding Samajwadi Party's cycle on a sympathy wave against Mukhtar's death, he will fancy his chances against BJP's greenhorn Parasnath Rai in this election. However, because his political fate hangs by a thread, as the Allahabad High Court may give its verdict on the challenge to his conviction even before elections, he introduced his daughter Nusrat into the campaign as his proxy candidate were he to get convicted, who is even seen worshipping in temples to get support of the Hindu electorate. But it was the Congress under Sanjay Gandhi's influence who started using goons as proxy to implement his agendas like Nasbandi, vasectomy in the 1970s. During the emergency years 75 to 77, internal democracy in the Congress died and loyalty to Indira Gandhi became absolute.
And this Sanjay culture helped many criminals and thugs to get into positions of leadership in the Congress.
But the real reasons politicians needed gangsters was for booth capturing and bullying weaker sections that would help them get to victory while the criminals could end up in jail. Though sometimes they were required from there as well, like when Congress got Afzal, Atiq and 4 other hardened criminals released from different jails in July 2008 just to get them to parliament and support Dr. Manmohan Singh's tottering UPA government against a left plus BJP no confidence motion. However, the trend soon changed and smart criminals like Arun Gavli and Atiq Ahmed themselves turned to politics to better influence some arms of the law. By the late 1980s, BJP also started aping Congress and took in strongmen like Brij Bhushan Singh. The 6-time MP, 5 of it as a BJP legislator, built a mountain of money allegedly through liquor contracts, coal mining, illegal sand mining and educational institutions in UP. But what made him vastly more powerful was his dominion over the Wrestling Federation, which would have continued had Olympic medalist wrestlers Sakshi Malik and Vinesh Phogat not sat on a dharna and demanded his removal on serious allegations of exploiting poor young female wrestlers in his specially organized wrestling camps, forcing Union Sports Minister Anurag Thakur to remove him as chief of the Wrestling Federation. Though the cunning politico mafia remote controls it via proxy through its newly elected head, and will now also control his MP seat of Kaisarganj via his 28-year-old son Karan Bhushan Singh as the new candidate in the current elections. At one point last year, it seemed that BJP might do away with Brij Bhushan entirely, as they didn't want to antagonize the Jat community to whom the wrestlers belong. But it turned out to be just a trick, as the BJP waited till the first two phases of voting in Western UP, where Jats dominate, ended before announcing his son's candidature, showing perhaps a compromise had already been reached between BJP and Bhushan behind the scenes. Some of this duplicity is even been seen in UP's Yogi government that has otherwise been tough on gangsters.
माफिया को मिट्टी में मिला देंगे.
Vikas Dubey, the dreaded gangster, was encountered while in police custody, and many more were eliminated in the 7 years of his rule. And even though the bulldozer Baba cleaned up most mafia political candidates, including Samajwadi's Mohammad Azam Khan and Vijay Mishra, and BSP's Dhananjay Singh, they are still trying to make their way back via proxies. Dhananjay Singh put his South Indian wife Shrikala Reddy on BSP's bandwagon as his proxy candidate from Jaunpur.
मैं जौनपुर की बहू हूँ.
Though BSP pulled the rug out from under her candidature just 20 days later, angry at Dhananjay's internal collusion with the BJP. In Bihar, India's other gangster-prone state, Nevada's notorious 62-year-old Ashok Mahato came out after 17 years in jail in 2023, where he had spent time for being the main accused in the Upsad massacre for killing 12 people during the violent caste wars of the 1990s. The first thing the sexagenarian did was to marry the younger 46-year-old Anita Kumari, that too during the Karmas inauspicious period, so as to get her a party ticket to run by proxy for him from Munger constituency as arranged with RJD chief Lalu Prasad.
विजयी भाव और मेरा नाम रोशन करो.
Almost simultaneously, Nitish Kumar arranged parole for another notorious don, RJD's ex-MLA Anand Singh, just a week before Munger went to polls, who showcased his clout by riding on a convoy of more than 100 vehicles in support of JDU's Lalan Singh, who will be fighting against Mahato's wife. This Bahubali did the same in the past, making his wife Neelam Devi a proxy MLA from Mokama in 2022, his former seat before conviction. Five-time MLA Bima Bharti is so dabang that she helped her mafia husband Avdesh Mandal escape from police custody within 48 hours of his arrest in 2016. But now Mrs. Bahubali will be fighting on a RGD ticket from Purnia this year as her husband again rots in jail in an Arms Act case. Possibly, Bihar is the pioneer of proxy candidates, as RJD's Lalu Prasad himself started the tradition by making his wife Rabri Devi Chief Minister of Bihar when he was convicted. JDU's Nitish Kumar couldn't be left far behind, as he too gave a spousal proxy ticket to Lovely Mohan to contest from Shiohar. She is the wife of terrorizing Don Anand Mohan, convicted in the 1994 murder of the Gopalganj District Magistrate G. Krishnia. In July 2013, the Supreme Court struck down Section 8(4) of the Representation of the People's Act 1951. This loophole allowed convicted representatives 3 months to get a stay from a higher court and continue as MP or MLA in the time being. This was now firmly closed.
Any elected representative who is convicted even in the lower court will be immediately disqualified.
In Feb 2020, the highest judiciary tried to make it still harder for them. Criminal backgrounds of candidates must be advertised openly on all social media platforms. Since then, there has been a drive to clean up politics, largely thanks to the work of civil society groups, activist lawyers, and the Election Commission. The Association for Democratic Reforms is also one such group in the forefront of this movement. 40% of India's MPs face criminal charges, including rape and murder. Yet no one has been able to figure out how to stop political resurrection of mafias via proxies of their wives, sons or daughters. Bisbo's limerick, the mafia don reigns somehow never dies. They come back to power in disguise. Forever kings, they pull the strings until the electorate one day gets wise. You will also find these sources listed in our video description section.